My name is Rachel. Welcome to my channel, Learning with Boys. Today I want to share an update on my 9th grader. Hi, welcome. Thank you for watching. I do want to thank you for all of those that have recently subscribed. That encourages me so much. I am a homeschool mom of almost 14 years. I have 4 boys, ages 9 to 19, and I'm just excited about sharing homeschool curriculum from the past and the present. I hope if you're new here and you like this type of content that you would subscribe and hit that like button. And also check out my Instagram account, which I've linked below. I try to share a little bit of extras on there. So today I want to share about my 9th grader. Bulk of his curriculum is from Heart of Dakota, World Geography. So I'm going to share a few things about that, a few things that he's added on himself, and just some other thoughts. My first thing that I was thinking and that I have really enjoyed this year is I also have a 4th grader who is also doing one of Heart of Dakota's books, and that is the Preparing Hearts for His Glory. And really, if you end up having to do those 2 years together, they really sort of intertwine a little bit, and it's been fun. Maybe more for mama, I don't know, but just the different things. Like my oldest has these DVDs for his World Geography, must-see places. After we just finished talking about coral reefs with my 4th grader, he had to watch some videos about Australia. Well, it started out with the ocean and the different islands and all the coral reefs. So it was really neat how it all came together. And of course, we always enjoy watching the videos no matter where it's from. But it seems like that's happened several times throughout the year, whether it be in book form or whether it be through the videos. So I just wanted to encourage you there. And as I'm talking about the bulk of his history, if you are new here and you're not familiar with Heart of Dakota, I will link them below. But he is doing the World Geography, which is usually what would be the 9th grade. It doesn't have to be, but that's what we're doing. And so that is one of his spines. And then he has a book of discovery. This is it's so worn out, but it's my 3rd son using it. And I did buy it used. I'm going to tell you, I probably got it, I want to say $1. It could have been $5, but I remember thinking, that is the book I need. Hiding under a used sale on the bottom, like nobody wanted that book. But it's been a blessing for me. And the Wonders of the World, and this is put out by Bob Jones. So, and he has actually pulled this out, like I think this whole week. Will be using this book, and then of course mapping the world of art, mapping the world with art, and he has to do a lot of map drawing. So he has, and that's another thing I want to mention before I go on. Before I tell you all that we're decided to do at the end of the school year, is I hear people talking about, is that curriculum rigid enough for a high schooler? And I don't really think much about it, but I heard someone respond, well, what is the definition of that and what is your term of that? And for me, I sort of could grasp what she was saying, because I feel like it must be because he has learned so much this year. And I see so much improvement in so many areas. And one of them is just the reading. And he is not my reader. All my boys like to read, but it's just not his thing unless it's what he wants to read and he's interested in. I will tell you that. But he's more willing now. He'll pick up his history. He'll just do stuff and get it done. And I just feel like the independence has matured. And to me, that's progress. And that's really what you want to see with your child. You don't want to take them from an area where they really are needy and say, well, here's all your work. You're in 9th grade now. You really need to work them up the stairs slowly and help and guide them. So I just want to encourage you with that, especially if any of you have some that are going into high school. And I remember hearing that. I was actually at a co-op and went to the meeting for high school. One of the leaders said, just because they're going into 9th grade doesn't mean you just let them go and they're supposed to do it on their own. So that encouraged me, and that I didn't have to have that pressure, that I could still be with them, enjoy them, and really it's been helpful that he has progressed so much because he is becoming more independent. So that's helpful to me for sure, and encourages me for the next year that it'll be easier. So, but we've been looking at this for the April, finishing up April, and all the way through the first week of May. That will be our finalization of that, everything. But that is my goal for him. Right now, we sort of looked at this and filled this out over the weekend. And I don't know if this is our student planner. I have a little video on it if you're interested. So we've got all the details written out. I'm going to share a little bit where he's at and where we're headed. So I shared the history with you. Logic, he's watching the videos. And I want to mention with these videos, I haven't said a whole lot about them, I don't think. But it's a couple adults and a few kids. And the adults are discussing the particular argument type with them, and then trying to get their insight, which I think is helpful because they have the kids in there, they're asking the questions to them, and just seeing their responses, especially from another 9th grader, because he may have the same response or the same question, so he can hear what the adults will have to say to that. It's very informative. All my boys have watched these, and I think it's been helpful. Okay, for his math, he is using CTC Math, and that's an online program. We were using Saxon. We didn't start this until about February. I think it's my first time switching a math program in the middle of the school year. Even when they were younger, I didn't do that. But it was really time consuming, and maybe I should have thought of some other ways to work through it. But CTC Math has been great. It's working really well for him. It's shorter lessons. You know, there's times he still has to do a lesson twice to make sure he's getting it. Not as often. And he's actually done 2 lessons in a row sometimes. So it really has been a good fit for him. I would recommend it for a high schooler. Now, younger grades, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. But it's been great for algebra. For world religion, there is a lot of living books. Also, there are some spine type books. And we have done some of the living books, and we have enjoyed what we read. But I think the last few we're going to go ahead and skip, and we're going to use a little bit more of this book. Not all of it, but we're going to use, I'm sort of in his planner, I have scheduled out the rest of what he will do, which includes some of this, but some of the other spines, which I will show you. But one of the books, and just so you know, it's not anything negative on the living books for the world religion, but one of them was I Dare to Call Him Father, and I thought about reading this one with him or letting him read it, but I started reading it, and I may finish reading it because it is good. For our family, this is just not something I want him to read right now. But I may be interested in it, so I may set it aside and read some more of it and just see how it is. So far, it's not been bad for me, but I know that it's not something I want him reading right now. So we're just going to stick with some information out of here. He is still reading out of this, and he's got all this scheduled out. He also, towards the end of the year, which is actually in a few weeks, he will start on this book, which is God's Global Mosaic, what we can learn from Christians around the world. So he does have a lot more to do with the world religion, which will be good. And in place, I did find this book, which I may read to him and my younger son, which is Living Waters in the Desert, True Stories of God and Work in Iran. So I think I read a couple stories out of here, and I thought this would be my choice right now. So I think I'm going to read this to them because I think that will replace the other book a little bit for our family. That is what's going to work. So everybody's different. Everybody's level is different. So I wanted to share why, just be honest with you, what we're doing. So for the living books, we stopped with Winfield, and I mentioned that in our last video, and we did not get to Florence Young, which is crazy. because I ordered the CDs for that. So I may just, my boys like audiobooks, so it might be just something we catch up with and do in the summer, because I would like to listen about her. But the next book was Longitude, and he did not get to that one. And then it is Queen Sheba's Ring. Now, I have not read that book, and I thought I bought that book. I cannot find it. I went ahead and ordered it on Amazon, and I will try to post a little picture here, because we're going to start on that as soon as it comes in, which I think is supposed to be tomorrow. I feel like that'll be a good book as a read aloud for my boys, and from what I've read from it, so I'm going by that. So I'm excited about it because I have not read it, they have not heard it, it'll be something new to us. And after that, it gets into this CD set from your Story Hour, Great Stories, which will have to do with Ernest Shackleton. So, which I know my 4th grader loves these type of CDs, so he will enjoy this too. And we have listened to this before, but it's been a long time. So we will end the year probably with this. I think there is one more book after that, and I don't think I have it. So that is fine for the Living Library. Okay, let's talk language arts. If you don't know, my son is using Fix It with Robin Hood. He has finished up, he's going to be starting on 26. So, and there's 35 lessons, which that should be no problem for him to finish. But, no, 33. So that should definitely be no problem for him to finish up by the end of the school year. It definitely intensifies. It gets harder towards the end. But the great thing about grammar is it's reviewed every year. So it'll be fine. The composition we are doing is Modern World based writing lessons from IEW. The Fix It was from IEW, which is Institute for Excellence in Writing, just in case you are not familiar with them. We have skipped through some things of this book. He just finished a paper about Australia. It was sort of like a composition. He had to take a few stories and put them together, which is fine. That's what he needs to do. But instead of finishing the book, he's going to do like an essay for me from something from history. That's my choice. That's sort of where we are at right now. We want to get done. And he is doing fine with what I have chosen for him to do this year. And every student is going to be different. So, and like I said, is it rigid enough? For him right now, yes. And I will let you know what we decide to do next year. I'm going to be doing a 10th grade video soon. So like I said, if you are interested, especially in high school, click that subscribe button and follow along with us as we go into 10th grade next year. But we will probably continue with IEW. I'm just not sure which direction we will go. But he is doing fine. I'm excited about him doing this essay for history and the research that he'll have to do for that. So I wanted to share those two things. He will also be finishing up one more book for literature, which will be Captain Courageous. So we have seen the movie, but it's been so long that I don't know if he remembers too much about it. So he'll be finishing that up for language arts. Okay, last thing I want to mention is the science, which is the integrated physics and chemistry. He is heading towards the end of this. He has mixed feelings. It's not been the worst, but he's not a science guy. So it has worked, and what has been helpful for us that it is listed in this guide daily of what to do, and it also has lab. So I think that has helped him to stay motivated to get it done, even though it's not his favorite thing. But he knows what he has to do. So I will mention with the labs, the last couple months, we've been watching more of the YouTube videos, especially when it talks about the physics and the different type of equipment, the different discoveries for that. It has been interesting for us that way. And so I just wanted to mention, there are 12 of these booklets, and we may only get to finish 10. That's what we're going to do. I think that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to share that with you. Also, he does Bible in the morning. He reads his own Bible. He does his own thing there. We have been blessed with our church youth group, gives the boys opportunities to give a devotional or even sometimes the Sunday school lesson, and he's had a couple times this year to do that, so he has worked on that. And also I have found him reading Preaching to America by Dr. Lee Roberson. He found this on our bookshelf. I have not even read it. It was given to us. So they read what they're interested in, right? Especially those teenage boys. And another thing he's interested in is driving permits. So he's been studying for that, has the booklet, taking the test, practice tests online. I think he's about ready. So really just waiting on Daddy to be able to take him. I have been blessed. Daddy usually takes them for the permit and for the license. So I just think that's a neat experience that they can do with him. So I really appreciate that he is able to do that with them. So I think that is it. And I appreciate you all watching this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much.